Howdy everyone, Namby here. Another moto vlog on the way home from work. It was a really good day today. Thoroughly enjoyed myself. Thoroughly enjoyed my ride to work. Man, I forgot how much fun it is to ride these little bikes on icy and snowy roads. I mean, a little bit hair raising at times, but man, is it ever fun! Love it. Oh, so I forgot a few things. In the video on the way to work, I forgot to mention that I did mention I got some tools, but I forgot to mention what they were and what they were for. So I picked up another vessel screwdriver set, which is the JIS type. I do have one with the impact driver, but it's quite long and it just barely fits my top box. And this one's nice and compact, and I've heard some really good reviews about it. So I figure, you know, it doesn't hurt to have a second JIS screwdriver. It's a multi-bit set, so it's got the flathead and the size 1, 2, and 3 JIS. And I got the clutch removing, what do you call it, pronged wrench, I guess, or ratchet head. I don't even know what the actual term for that is, just clutch tool, I guess. I don't know if it has an actual name. If it has an actual name, anyone knows what the actual name of that tool is, can you let me know in the comments? That'd be awesome. Because there was just all sorts of different names for it when I was searching Amazon and eBay and that sort of thing. Picked one up for a little bit over 10 bucks, including shipping. And so they're not expensive. And I don't expect them to be. There's not much to the tool. It's basically just a 4-prong. I can't remember if it's 20mm by 24mm. A lot of people make their own out of an old socket and just grind it down and make the prongs off themselves. And it's just to release that nut. And I gotta find a way to hold the clutch basket together. I want to do that, take that apart, not because I'm required to or anything, just because... Oh, which way do I want to go today? Let's do the back road. Yeah, not because I'm required to take that off or anything, like I need to get into the clutch basket. At least I don't think so. I really don't think it's anything to do with the how do you say it, the actual friction discs on the clutch. I believe it is more to do with the gears themselves. I don't know if I've chipped a dog or what exactly I've done in there. I don't know if I've done it or if it's an old damage that's just finally showing its age. My best guess is that I've bent a shifting arm, or the shift drum lever itself is either snapped or bent, which is another common problem. When I say common problem, I mean for this type of issue. It's not like this happens to every CT. Oh man, the roads are slick. This is good times though, man. I'm just really enjoying this. I don't know, maybe I'm crazy, but I find this like just hilarious fun. Thoroughly enjoy myself. There's no traffic, so like whatever. It's not super unsafe or anything. Anyway, this stretch is rather dark because there's no lights, but I will pay attention to the road and make sure there's nothing on said road. Little bikes like this, you do have to be careful of the large black lumps of death that get dropped by the big trucks that come down this way, because it is a dangerous goods route. By black lumps of death, I mean large lumps of road ice that build up on the back of the mud flaps on the large trucks, and they typically drop off right in the wheel path. And of course, when you hit one, it's a good, I don't know, 10 to 20 pounds, depending how big the chunk is, of just black ice, and it matches nicely into the pavement. I've hit a few of them on Fluff Butt, and yeah, it wasn't a happy experience, so I'm gonna try and avoid that. And of course, anything else that ends up on the road. Draken hit a car battery a couple years back. It was just sitting in the road, kind of masked in with snow and whatever, and she ended up getting battery acid all over her pants trying to pull it out from underneath the car. That was actually quite a while back, because that was our old Saturn that we had. Either way though, yeah, you don't want to hit, you know, road debris of any sort. on any vehicle, even especially a bike though. Yeah, so anyway, back to the tools. I got the Vessel. I got the Vessel JIS screwdriver set, the 20 centimeter clutch tool, or 20 millimeter clutch tool. And what was the third thing I got? Oh, an actual impact driver, right. Oh, really, headlight, come on. There we go. Don't need you going out on me right now. Yes, I know the headlight has been a problem for a while, and yes, I really need to fix it. And yes, I've taken it apart 3 or 4 times now in an attempt to fix it. Although, the problem isn't the actual connections, as I originally thought, it is the housing itself. And to fix said problem, I am going to just change the whole bulb housing out. I tried to save money / be inventive and do this headlight mod that a lot of people do on the CTs, because the headlights are kind of expensive / really hard to come by. Unfortunately, it just, for a long-term solution, it's really not a good option. If you're just putzing around and you don't do night driving, like I do quite a bit of night driving, hence the Oxlite, it's not a bad solution, I wouldn't say, because it is cheap. Like the little bulbs, you can actually replace the bulbs instead of replacing the whole sealed unit. The bulbs themselves are only like $3 to $4, where a sealed unit will run you over 50 Canadian. So it's a big difference in savings. However, the amount that the bulbs go into is very cheaply made in China. So much so that it took me about an hour of modding time to solder and redo the connections, because the connections weren't even actually connected to the ground of the unit. They were just simply some bare wires that were jammed in there against the side of the ground for the headlamp. So there is the Prudo brothers. They do a lot of really good mods for the old Hondas, and they actually have a really good little PDF write-up on how to fix that mod and make it more reasonably sound. And I followed that, and part of that is to basically solder the ground on so it does actually have a good ground connection, because the ground to the headlight is an important connection. It runs a lot of load for this bike and needs to be solid. So I fixed that. The springs are weak, so I took the springs and stretched them out, and I think that's really the problem I got right now, is the temper on the springs is really quite horrible. They're exceedingly soft, and I think that's what's happening now, is that the 2 main positive connecting points aren't positively connecting to the bulb, and they're rattling loose because the springs aren't putting enough tension on them, on those soft little lead connections. I'm sorry I have to keep opening my helmet. I'm just getting some foggy here because of the sub-zero freezing temperatures. Man, I don't know if this is showing up on the film at all, but the road is just like clear ice. It's not very thick, but it's there. Just enough to make you start swerving a bit. Anyway, so headlight mod, I am going to just scrap that whole idea. It was a cool idea. I even tried to put an LED bulb into it. I got a special LED bulb that was supposed to reduce the load on the battery and the generator. However, it didn't work very well at all. The light that it put out was very subpar and just wasn't a good investment. So I took that out and I put in the regular incandescent bulb, which works, but I mean, it's got, you know, all the candle power of a child's Halloween flashlight. So I'm just gonna bite the bullet, go back to a regular $50 sealed beam Honda headlamp, and yep, just deal with any burnt out bulbs I might have. The original bulb on this one I thought was burnt out, or the low beam anyway, and only the high beam worked, but what the original owner did was actually tape up one of the connections. So the bulb was fine, and I could have really just kept it, but I really wanted to do this headlight mod that I've been reading about online, and I did, and yeah, not so happy about it. So along with the motor mods that I want to do, or not really mods, but just maintenance that needs to be done on Fluffbutt here. I also want to do the bearings. I've repacked them, but I'm just going to pound them out and put new ones in. And chain needs some love. Everything needs a little love, actually. Anyway, you guys have a good night. Find something awesome about your day, like a headlight mod, and share it with someone. I'm gonna go in, get warm, maybe make some hot chocolate. And come on. Sorry guys, the driveway's all friggin' lumpy. There we go. Acting like a pussy. Okay. Find something awesome about your day. Share it with somebody. I'm gonna go get some popcorn and hot chocolate. Thanks guys. Have a good one. Give Dragon some hugs.